You've been overlooked. You spoke, and no one listened. You tried honesty. You tried kindness. And still, you were dismissed. Meanwhile, the loud ones took the spotlight. They bark. They show off. They chase applause. But what no one tells you is this: they burn out. Because this world may reward noise, but only for a moment. Real power? It's quiet, patient, precise. It belongs to the one who stays silent and strikes when it matters. You're not here to be seen. You're here to win. With strategy, not noise. Without mercy, without guilt. This video isn't for the attention seekers. It's for the quiet ones, the calculated minds, the ones who don't want sugar-coated advice or fake motivation. You're here because you want an edge, to move smarter, to rise without ever needing to shout. To do that, you must accept 3 brutal truths. 1. Emotions are distractions. 2. Noise is weakness. 3. Cold strategy is your sharpest weapon. Look around you. The ones who rise, CEOs, leaders, real power players, they don't yell, they don't beg, they detach, they watch, and then they move. Control your words, kill your feelings, win without guilt. This isn't about being cruel. It's about being clear. It's about learning when to walk away and never look back, to detach without flinching, to strike without warning. The Machiavellian way isn't about becoming a villain. It's about mastering your mind before the world does it for you. Because what you truly crave isn't fame or followers. You want 1. Control in a world that feels chaotic. 2. Mental toughness when others break. 3. The confidence to walk into any room like you already own it, without saying a word. Because the most dangerous person isn't the one who talks the loudest. It's the one who says nothing until it's time to win. You've heard it said before. Actions speak louder than words. But in a world where everyone is shouting, posting, and constantly striving for attention, silence becomes a weapon. This isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about mastering control over yourself, your emotions, and your actions. When you choose silence, you're not being weak. You're not backing down. You're making a conscious decision to let the noise of the world fade into the background while you focus on what truly matters. Your end goal. The world rewards loudness, aggression, and visible triumphs. But those who stay calm, calculated, and observant, the ones who speak little but act decisively, are the ones who often come out on top. The person who stays quiet is never impulsive. They think, plan, and strike when the time is right. It's not about being cruel or indifferent. It's about being deliberate. The beauty of silence is that it allows you to think clearly without emotional distractions or unnecessary noise. When you don't react to every provocation, every insult, or every attempt to get you off course, you gain something far more valuable than attention. You gain control. Control of your emotions, control of your destiny, and above all, control over how you are perceived by others. In a world full of chaos, the calmest person has the most power. Think about the most successful individuals, leaders, influencers, CEOs. You never hear them scream their plans from the rooftops. They don't need to. They understand that their actions, carefully timed and executed, speak louder than any words ever could. So ask yourself, why is silence such a powerful tool? Because it allows you to outmaneuver your competition without lifting a finger. It lets you move swiftly and decisively when others are too busy talking and reacting. You aren't simply surviving. You're thriving by controlling your own mind and emotions, while everyone else is distracted by theirs. And that's the power of winning without mercy. You master the game by staying calm, staying sharp, and staying silent until it's time to strike. So, what exactly is the Machiavellian way? And why is it the key to mastering this kind of silent power? It's more than just a set of strategies. It's a mindset, a philosophy that empowers you to control your fate, to act with purpose, and to achieve your goals without ever revealing your hand. The Machiavellian approach comes from the teachings of Niccolo Machiavelli, who understood that the path to power wasn't through loud proclamations or empty gestures. It was about mastering the subtle art of manipulation, control, and influence from the shadows. It's not about being deceptive or malicious. It's about being smarter, more calculated, and more strategic than everyone else. At its core, the Machiavellian Way teaches that real power comes from knowing when to act, when to speak, and when to stay silent. It's about the strength to resist the urge to react emotionally, even when the world around you is crumbling or pushing you to do so. In a world where everyone is trying to outdo each other, the Machiavellian mindset is about stepping back and waiting for the right moment. When you've gathered enough information, when you've assessed the landscape, and when you're sure your move will guarantee victory. It's not about appearing as the loudest, most charismatic person in the room. Instead, it's about playing a much quieter game, a game where your every move is calculated, your responses are measured, and your decisions are always one step ahead of everyone else. This is why the Machiavellian Way has such power. It allows you to operate in a way that others simply don't understand. You don't follow the crowd. You set your own course, move in silence, and let your actions speak louder than anyone's words. So, ask yourself again, what could you accomplish if you learned how to act with purpose, to make moves when it matters most, and to stay calm while the world panics? When you understand and apply the Machiavellian Way, you'll start seeing the world as your chessboard, and you'll quickly realize that every piece has its role. The key to winning isn't just in how you move, but when you choose to make your move. Now you might be wondering, why is this approach so important in today's world? Why should you choose silence and strategy over loudness and emotion? The answer is simple. In a world full of noise, chaos, and distractions, the quietest person is often the most powerful one in the room. But here's the catch. Winning this way requires you to embrace a philosophy that many people overlook: winning without mercy. This isn't about being passive or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about understanding that every action, every decision, and every word has a purpose. In this noisy, attention-seeking world, people are constantly vying for the spotlight. They think that by shouting the loudest, they'll get ahead. But the truth is, the louder they shout, the more they reveal their vulnerabilities, their weaknesses. They show their desperation. You see, the loud ones are the ones who often overpromise, underdeliver, and burn out. They exhaust themselves in an attempt to be noticed, but all that effort makes them predictable. They react to everything around them, rather than controlling the situation. They reveal their cards too soon. On the other hand, the quiet ones, the ones who take the time to think, plan, and strike when the moment is right, are the ones who quietly rise to the top. They don't need validation, applause, or attention. Their power lies in their restraint, in their ability to stay calm, think clearly, and act with precision. And this is why winning without mercy is essential. It's about mastering the art of silence, of waiting for the right moment to pounce. It's about knowing when to speak and when to keep your thoughts to yourself. Most importantly, it's about detaching from the emotional noise that surrounds you and focusing solely on the goal at hand. Imagine for a moment having the mental strength to walk into any situation, any room, and instantly take control without ever saying a word. That's what the Machiavellian Way gives you. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's about showing up with purpose and dominance in a way that no one can ignore. When you stop reacting emotionally, when you stop needing external validation, you put yourself in a position to win without mercy. This isn't just about winning. It's about winning with calm precision and unwavering confidence. You'll no longer be driven by outside forces. Instead, you'll be the one pulling the strings, making the moves, and leading the game. So, take a step back and think about it. What would it feel like to operate in this way? To be in control of your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions? What could you achieve if you learned how to outsmart, outlast, and outmaneuver the competition without ever needing to yell, fight, or beg for attention? Now that you've imagined what it would feel like to move through the world with absolute control, where you're the one making the moves, not reacting to the noise, let's explore how this actually works. The key to this level of control lies in one thing: strategy. When emotions rule, you're reactive. You're at the mercy of every provocation, every moment of frustration, and every impulse that crosses your mind. And in that state, you become predictable. Your emotions will lead you to make decisions that feel good in the moment but lack long-term effectiveness. That's when you lose your advantage. But when strategy rules, you gain control. Strategy isn't about reacting. It's about acting. It's about choosing your response based on the outcome you want, not how you feel in the heat of the moment. It's about seeing the bigger picture, understanding where every piece of the puzzle fits, and making moves that align with your ultimate goal. Think about the greatest chess masters. They don't move pieces on the board because they're angry or emotional. They move them because they've already thought 5 steps ahead. Every move has a purpose, every piece has a role, and every decision is made with the end game in mind. In life, it's the same principle. The people who succeed aren't the ones who let their emotions dictate their actions. They're the ones who master the game by staying ahead of the curve. They understand that every situation can be turned to their advantage if they don't let their feelings cloud their judgment. When you embrace this Machiavellian mindset, you begin to see how much power there is in controlling your emotions. You stop letting fear, anger, or even excitement push you into decisions you'll regret. Instead, you learn to hold your ground, remain patient, and bide your time until the right moment comes. The result? You become a strategist in your own life. You no longer rely on gut reactions or impulsive decisions. You act with precision, and your moves are calculated. The people around you won't understand why you're so calm, but that's exactly what gives you the advantage. They'll keep reacting to the chaos, while you sit back, observe, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. Think about your own life. How many times have you been swept up in emotion, reacting to a situation, only to realize later that your response didn't serve you? Now imagine if you could remove that emotional reaction, step back, and choose your next move with deliberate strategy. The game would change, wouldn't it? By now, you've started to understand the power of strategy, silence, and emotional control. But knowing these principles is one thing. Applying them to your own life is another. So, how do you actually start living the Machiavellian way and turning these ideas into actionable steps? First, it begins with self-awareness. You must understand your emotions, not suppress them, but recognize them as signals. What is anger trying to tell you? What is fear warning you about? Once you become aware of these emotional triggers, you can choose not to act on them immediately. This isn't about becoming a robot or shutting off your humanity. It's about gaining control over your impulses so that you don't react out of instinct, but instead respond with purpose. The next step is mastering the art of patience. In a world that demands immediate results, patience is often seen as weakness. But in reality, patience is a strength that the Machiavellian mindset embraces. Being patient allows you to assess situations, read the room, and understand what's really going on beneath the surface. This is where the chess game comes into play. While others are rushing into decisions based on emotion or impulse, you're observing, learning, and preparing to make your move when the time is right. One of the most important aspects of this mindset is to keep your intentions hidden. Don't broadcast your plans. In fact, the less you reveal, the better. The more quiet and discreet you are, the more you allow your moves to have an impact. In life, this means not sharing every thought, idea, or intention with everyone around you. Keep your cards close to your chest and let your actions do the talking. The less people know about what you're up to, the harder it is for them to undermine your efforts. Building this mindset also requires you to detach from external validation. Stop relying on others' approval to feel good about yourself. When you let go of this need, you free yourself from the influence of others. This is a crucial step toward becoming the person who doesn't react to drama or chaos. You become someone who moves with purpose, not for approval. The last step in applying the Machiavellian mindset is learning to control the narrative. While others are busy reacting to external circumstances, you remain in control of your own story. You're not the victim of the situation. You're the strategist, using every encounter and challenge as an opportunity to move closer to your goals. By applying these steps, self-awareness, patience, keeping your intentions hidden, detaching from validation, and controlling the narrative, you begin to operate with the same level of precision and control as the greatest leaders, influencers, and thinkers in history. Now think about this. How would your life change if you started applying these principles consistently? How would you approach each day, each challenge, each conversation differently? The Machiavellian Way isn't just a mindset. It's a lifestyle, one that puts you in the driver's seat, ready to make your next move, no matter what comes your way. As you reflect on the principles of the Machiavellian mindset, self-awareness, patience, keeping your intentions hidden, detaching from validation, and controlling the narrative, think about the life you could create by embodying these ideas. The world rewards those who react emotionally, those who speak loudly, and those who seek attention. But real power lies in the quiet, controlled movements of those who know when to act and when to stay silent. The true beauty of this lifestyle is in the quiet victories you'll experience. Imagine walking into any room, facing any challenge, with the confidence that comes from knowing you control the game. Not because you've shouted the loudest or fought the hardest, but because you've played the long game, strategically, with patience, and without hesitation. You see, success isn't just about winning in the moment. It's about winning for the long haul. It's about being the one who outlasts, who outsmarts, and who makes every move count, while others burn out, lose their heads, or act without thinking. The Machiavellian Way teaches you that true power isn't about loud victories. It's about the quiet ones that no one sees coming. You now have the tools to take control of your own destiny. The key is not to rush in or reveal your hand. Instead, it's about mastering the art of silence, patience, and strategic action. When you operate with this mindset, your life will begin to unfold in ways you never imagined, and you'll find yourself winning, not just once, but again and again, in ways that leave others stunned and unsure of how you did it. So, embrace the quiet victory. Own your space, own your strategy, and most importantly, own your power. Because when you master the Machiavellian Way, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, quietly and without mercy.